Kelvin Sampson, first season as the Indiana head coach after 12 years at the University of Oklahoma. And his starting five for this 5-2 team in the backcourt, the freshmen Armand Bassett, Earl Calloway, and Eric Sewer gets the start. The 5'9 senior. Up front, DJ White and Rod Wilmot. For the Kentucky Wildcats, Bradley Crawford and the freshman Derek Jasper, his second start. Bobby Perry at one forward, and the man Clark mentioned, Randolph Morris. Tubby Smith, one of the outstanding coaches in the profession, now in his 10th season. The head coach at Kentucky, the officiating crew today. Mike Stewart, Bert Smith, and Tom Eads. And this is the 50th all-time meeting, 38th consecutive year. Kentucky leads the series. The first time they played in Lexington since 1988.
Been a while.
Today's game brought to you in high-definition television by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media. Wildcats have won a couple. They were participants in the Maui Classic, where they lost back-to-back to UCLA and Memphis, then lost last weekend on CBS at North Carolina. Indiana has won a couple this week, most recently a thumping of Division II Western Illinois, by 92-40. Randolph Morris, DJ White, and we are set to go. The hands of Ramel Bradley. Now the freshman Derek Jasper out of Paso Robles, California. Joe Crawford. Entry pass into Randolph Morris. Boy, he had really good position and misses the mark.
He's shooting 64% from the floor, Vern, because he's finished most of those kinds of opportunities, but he's facing one of the best shot blockers in the Big Ten in DJ White.
Eric Sewer underneath the White, misses from point-blank range. Kentucky will run, don't have numbers. A pull-up three-pointer for Crawford. No. Gets the long rebound. Skip pass. Bobby Perry, who can shoot the three. That's inside the arc. It counts for two.
Kentucky really wants to try to get as much early offense as they can. Defend, rebound, and run the floor. And when you do that, you typically set yourself up for second shot opportunities if you miss the initial one.
Armand Bassett with a very long try. Gets it back into the hands of Rod Wilmot. This is Stemler. Lance Stemler, who gets the start tonight. 6'8" junior college transfer. And we should mention early on here that Ben Allen, the 6'11" Aussie, was ill in the hotel. Stayed there, came over to the arena, but got here maybe 15 minutes ago.
I don't know if we'll see him or not, Vern. I talked to him just before the game, and he said he was feeling terrible, but wanted to be here for his team.
So Eric Sewer drew the starting assignment. There's the double team, Stemler and Randolph Morris. They get Bradley in the lane. Got it.
Assist to Morris.
And now the ball in the hands of Eric Sewer, the 5'9" senior out of Bloomington. Had significant minutes in the second half in the loss at Duke. He played 19 minutes second half of that game. Turnaround jumper. Indiana still looks for its first points. That one out of bounds. Hoosiers will inbound.
Well, we're going to see Kentucky take advantage of poor defense right in there. Roderick Wilmot lost sight of Bradley after Morris had stepped off the block and was in trouble. And Bradley did what a smart offensive player does when his defender loses sight of the ball, right to the rim.
Indiana has missed its first four. Lance Stemler, the 6'8" from Illinois. There's a long jumper by Wilmot, not shy about putting that up. Chased down in the corner. Eric Sewer guarded by Jasper. They find Wilmot. Penetrates off the glass in. Sewer draws the foul.
One of the things Indiana does is they play 4 around 1. 4 perimeter players around 1 post guy, which opens up the lane for these kinds of driving opportunities. Indiana will space the floor. They'll look to move the ball and shoot threes, but also if you close out poorly on the guy with the ball, he'll dribble, penetrate, and take it to the rim on you.
Ball inbounded to Jasper. Second consecutive start. He's one of the 4 scholarship athletes, freshman for Kentucky. Ramel Bradley. There's Jasper. Nice dish. Beauty.
That's what he does so well. Randolph Morris, when he makes himself available to a teammate after penetration, he really has a nice variety of mid-range soft shots in the lane, Vern.
Randolph Morris, who a year ago appeared to be lost to this team, having attempted to go into the NBA and got a dispensation, still somewhat controversial decision. Here's Crawford with a pull-up jumper way off the mark. And Lance Stemler pulls it down for Indiana. These two teams play annually. This is the 38th straight year. And last year in Indianapolis, it was a thumping.
Yeah, it was. I was courtside for that one, along with Tim Brando, and Indiana played extremely well. There's Soar stepping into a three-point shot. And it's really tough to defend the perimeter guys when they spread themselves out so well. Kentucky going to have to do a nice job of recovering the shooters.
Wilmot almost got it. Perry sends it right side. Ball on the floor. Eric Sewer gets it back from Stemler. Wilmot. Jumper. Good. First Indiana lead of the ball game.
Wilmot coming off a 20-point, 10-rebound game against Western Illinois. There he is with the steal. He leads his team in offensive rebounds and steals, and you can see the kind of energy he brings to both ends of the court.
Now this Kentucky team has been plagued by turnovers, averaging 20 in the last 4 games. They turn it over 17 times per game, and it hurts them here. Here's Wilmot with the steal. Foul as he goes up. Time call. His jobs. Bob Huggins, late of Cincinnati, now has taken over at Kansas State. Matt Doherty has resurfaced at Southern Methodist University. Bobby Cremins, new coach at the College of Charleston. And Todd Bozeman has taken over at Morgan State. How have they fared so far?
Well, it's a little bit sketchy there. You see Morgan State, Bozeman, and Cremins off to relatively slow starts. You know Huggins is going to win wherever he is, and Doherty off to a good start. Great to see Todd Bozeman back. After indiscretions at California in the mid-90s, had to work his way back into a position where he could take over a program. It's good to see him back. And obviously, Bobby Cremins, one of the favorite guys in all of college basketball for fans and broadcasters alike.
Well, to remind you, the 12 deals at Christmas are going on now at the CBS Sports Store. Save up to 25% on gifts for the sports fan on your list, and check back each day for a new deal. Click on Shop at cbssportsline.com. Rod Wilmot will go to the line for the Indiana Hoosiers. Spark plug off the bench a year ago. Really a high energy guy.
He really is, Vern, and you can see it on display here in the first 4.5 minutes. He's done a little bit of everything. Steals, buckets, and a missed free throw there. I mean, I know he wouldn't put that on the positive ledger, but his activity is infectious. The 5th-year senior, and really counted on by Calvin Sampson to provide high energy and leadership.
Wilmot with 5 points, and it's a 2-point Indiana lead. Trap. Michael Porter, one of the 4 freshmen, has come in during the timeout. He's another young man from the California area, wearing number 1. So Crawford is out there. Sheree Thomas is also on the floor, number 23 for Kentucky. Ramel Bradley. Shot clock at 8. There's Morris. Clean block. It's out of bounds by DJ White. Kentucky to inbound.
Well, it's obvious Kentucky really wants to get the ball into Randolph Morris. Indiana doing a pretty good job, Vern, of making sure DJ stays behind and he gets help from somebody else to double team White in the paint.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Fade away. Crawford's going to be short. Lance Stemler, the 6'8 transfer, gets it and puts it in the hands of 5'9" Eric Sewell. Now White missed all but 5 games with 2 fractures of his left foot last year. Baseline, short. Good job defensively by Morris.
Well done. He anticipated that fadeaway jump shot and stayed in excellent position defensively. DJ White trying to drop step. Here he is getting it back out, reposting, and there you see Morris never left his right shoulder and was able to get a piece of that.
For the Hoosiers,
White thought he had been fouled, but I thought that was just pretty solid defense by Morris.
Jasper replaces Porter, freshman for freshman. And Jody Meeks, another of the freshmen, number 20, is on the floor for Kentucky as well. And now A.J. Ratliff makes his first appearance in the ball game for Indiana, wearing number 20.
He is a streaky three-point shooter, Vern, and when he gets it going, he can rack them up in a hurry. Joey Shaw, one of the more impressive freshmen that I've seen all year long in the games that I've watched because of his activity level.
Shaw has the ball in his hands right now, number 32.
Coming off a career-high 14-point game against Western Illinois. A lot of career highs in that Western Illinois game. Indiana didn't have much trouble winning by 50.
Here's Sewer way outside. Well, among the team marks posted in that, Indiana only turned it over 3 times. That's the fewest they could find in the history books. 3 times.
That is really squeezing the orange there, partner.
I knew that would get your approval.
I've talked about the double teaming that Indiana has done on the post players of Kentucky, and Lance Stemler right there. I think Joey Shaw was there as well, and another turnover for Kentucky. Switching the defense here by Kentucky, trying to go to the zone.
Ratliff now in the corner. Sewer probing. Stemler comes across the lane. This is Ratliff, who had 21 points in the second half of that huge win last year by Indiana, and never approached that mark for the rest of the season.
No, he didn't. That's one of the issues with him. He hasn't been quite as consistent as his coaches would like him to be, although off to a much better start this season.
Bradley, jumper, no. Tipped, and it will be Kentucky ball. Bradley thought it was more than the tip. He thought he got it on the forearm.
Let's take a look.
I believe he did.
I think you're right. He was hit on the elbow.
That'll affect your shot.
Oh, big time. Doesn't take much. Just a light touch on that elbow, and you can end up leaving it short.
Nice pass underneath, and the up and under. And Derek Jasper draws the foul. Well, he's just got the physique of a good-looking ball player.
Yeah, he really does. He gives you size at the point guard position, Vern. He's about 6'6", and he has a wingspan that makes him play like he's 6'8" or 9". Terrific passer, and really comfortable, becoming more comfortable running the show.
Monday, Dave's All New with Matt Damon, and later this week, don't miss Kids Scientist, plus Clint Eastwood visits The Late Show for the first time. That's on David. Talked to Tom Leach, the Kentucky broadcaster. He and his family were in New York last year and saw the Letterman show.
Oh, it was a treat, I'm sure.
Yep, they had a very enjoyable evening.
Have you ever seen that show live?
Never. Never.
Neither have I.
I've had my name mentioned disparagingly on it. Me and Dave's mom, quite a pair at the Winter Olympics. Oh dear. 8-6. Nice. DJ White. First basket.
One of the weak places of the zone, Vern, is in the middle. If you get the ball to the middle of the court against the zone, you put tremendous pressure on the defense. Well executed by Indiana that time.
Off the glass and no good. Jody Meeks just misfires. Little contact in the backcourt, and it's touched last by Armand Bassett. It'll be Kentucky ball.
I talk about the vulnerability of the zone defense in the middle of the floor. There's the ball. There's DJ White. There's 2 points for Indiana. DJ finding the seam, making himself available and ready, and a beautiful pass from Joey Shaw.
And DJ White is going to get a rest now. Mike White, junior college transfer, who is a heavy rebounder, large-bodied guy, number 30, is on the floor. And Lukasz Oberjut, now a 7'1" senior, number 10 on the floor for Kentucky.
Oh, that's 5 seconds.
Yeah, they called the time just before. Yeah, look at Kelvin Sampson. A little slow with the count. Time call. Here, they're at it again.
They are the real deal, and they were last year, and they have been for a while. But they're continuing to show that they're a high-quality league with terrific teams across the board. And they'll be well represented again in this year's tournament field.
Look at Mark Turgeon. I'm sorry, Clark in the bottom.
Yeah, you got
the Wichita State team. Yes.
And LSU.
Whew. Very strong. 10-6 here. You just made the point that when we went to the last commercial, Kentucky was stuck on 6.
And they got a lot of quarters in that parking meter because they have not moved. Part of it is due to Indiana's defense. Just like that, they're overplaying the passing lanes. Kentucky is not moving the ball either with the pass or dribble penetration, and they're playing on their heels. But give credit to Indiana. They're getting up and into the Kentucky perimeter players. Here you see Bassett applying pressure. And now Jasper picks up his dribble in a tough spot.
Meeks. Bobby Perry.
One way to go against pressure is putting the ball on the floor and beating your guy off the dribble, which is just what Bobby Perry did there. Good effort by White to try to close off the lane, but he picked up the foul.
Bobby Perry goes to the line, hometown Durham, North Carolina. Just thinking as we watch the substitutions come in and out, one person we've not seen today is Earl Calloway. And the reason we've not seen Earl Calloway is that his head coach was moderately displeased with his effort in practice yesterday.
Oh.
So Calloway listed as a starter. I say that with some degree of irony. Kelvin Sampson was highly agitated.
Well, it doesn't take much. He's a very high-wired guy anyway, but if you don't bring the effort and the attention to detail that he requires, then you'll spend time as an assistant coach.
And Clark, that was exactly the point that he made somewhat vociferously to Callaway yesterday.
Nothing like sitting down to get a player's attention. That's one of the greatest pieces of leverage a coach has.
Entry pass, Mike White backs in, up and under, and it's going to be Morris or Perry. Let's see who got it. Randolph Morris call for the foul. 10-7 time call. Having been around football for the last 3 months, I've heard the term BCS.
I bet you have.
Until it's almost above my eyebrows. How about your non-BCS watch list?
Well, these are outstanding teams that are not part of a BCS conference. I have a tough time going mid-major. I know some coaches don't mind it. Many do, so we go non-BCS. But these teams are all outstanding teams and off to terrific starts, and wouldn't be surprised to see all of them, not only in the tournament, Vern. We got a long way to go,
right?
Obviously. But these teams, not only could they get to the tournament, but if they get there, they would beat teams. They would have the capability of beating teams, and it wouldn't be a surprise to me or anybody else who's had a chance to see these teams play.
Well, as a resident of Colorado, I look at that Air Force record, and Jeff Bezdelik doing another job out there.
What a treat they are to watch.
Aren't they
They
fun?
space the floor. Everybody passes and catches. They react to the defense. They play together. I mean, it's the ideal way to play. It's the way the game is meant to be played.
Mike White, who does not excel at this particular task, 53%. Near the end of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevy makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. America's brand supports America's best, Chevy and American Revolution.
Vern, so far, Kentucky has had a tough time getting into any offense. They're starting between the circles instead of foul line extended, trying to do an awful lot off the dribble. There's a good look.
Bobby Perry off the front iron, and they might get Morris. Now that thought they were going to get him for over the top, but they do not. It's called instead on Jasper, the freshman from Indiana.
Well, watch Morris attack this offensive rebound, and because he gets there first, Joey Shaw is guilty of the foul. And I'd like to see that call made. I had an official tell me once, Vern, over the back is not a foul. On the back is when a foul is committed.
Gotcha.
And as one who in his playing day used to go over the back cleanly,
yes.
I appreciate that sentiment.
DJ White grabs it. Ratliff can't go with a left-handed shot off the glass. And a foul is going to be called again. This one on Stemler, number 22.
I don't think Calvin Sampson was very pleased with A.J. Ratliff's attempt to make that shot.
Is that, are you suggesting that's why he's taking a seat now?
Yeah, exactly. Because he wants him to go in there strong. Anytime you're 2-on-1, you're thinking a basket. You feel like you've got to score the ball. And if you go in there with something soft, you don't give yourself a chance to do that. So A.J. is going to have to think about that choice of shots in the fast break.
Ramel Bradley, and he'll go to the line and shoot a couple.
Foul is on DJ White. That's his first.
DJ White, his first.
This is what Ramel Bradley can do. He's an excellent three-point shooter, but he also can get it to the rim off the dribble. And he went in there looking for contact and did a nice job there.
Earl Callaway getting ready to make his first appearance on the floor this afternoon. And here's Bradley. Has the formidable task of replacing Rajon Rondo. The book on Bradley. Clark?
Well, you take a look at him. He's a speed merchant. He showed you his quickness there. Deep range. He can shoot it from well beyond the three-point line. He needs to lead this team, I think, with defense and dimes. In other words, defense and setting other people up. Although he has to make sure he looks for his shot when he's on the floor, especially with Derek Jasper running the point guard spot.
And so the lead cut to 2, and here's Callaway. His first appearance, he sat for the first 9 minutes of the ball game. Underneath, nice pass. DJ White, and 1.
That's finishing with force. Well executed play.
And
DJ taking it strong to the rim. See a little cross screen. Kentucky's defense late reacting. And then DJ right where you want to catch it. Balance, strength, and a good finish.
Recruited by Mike Davis. He's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and of course Mike is from there as well. And when Mike was relieved of his job, a lot of thoughts that DJ White might go with him to UAB.
There was some talk about that, but because DJ had sat out last year most of the season, I think that impacted his decision. Robert Vaden was one of the Indiana players that decided to follow Mike to Alabama Birmingham.
Bradley, jumper. And the rebound, Armin Bassett, the freshman who was at Hargrave Military last year from Terre Haute, Indiana. Now Rod Wilmot. And here's DJ White. Callaway. Trap comes. Pass to Lance Stemler, who loses control of the ball. Held ball. Possession arrow goes toward Indiana. 23,000 plus on hand for this one. As we mentioned at the outset, first time these two have played in Lexington since 1988. They usually play this game in Louisville or Indianapolis.
Right.
And scheduling difficulties, there's a little mini tournament that Louisville's involved in next week.
Return game will be in Bloomington, Indiana next year.
And this Kentucky team will go to Louisville for the second time this year. Next week on CBS. They played Chattanooga over there earlier. White has 7, and it's a 16-9 Indiana lead. Well, he had a little oomph in that one.
Well, he beat the double team because Stemler came over and didn't get his body squared up with DJ White, and now we can hear some of those 23,000 that were kind of making this a fan-free environment for a while.
Good job by Sheree Thomas to force the turnover.
Nice post up here by Morris over the top, and there you see Stemler going the baseline side. Just a good recognition by Morris. Felt the defender on the baseline side. DJ White had taken himself out of the play with the gamble, and that left Morris alone at the rim.
Now, the reason for the reaction, that was the first Kentucky field goal in 7 minutes and 15 seconds. They were as cold as the temperature outside.
Well, Indiana had a lot to do with that because of their ball pressure defensively.
I was thinking of a lot of lines from country western songs there, but opted just over the temperature. DJ White, they thought he was on the line. Here's Wilmot in traffic. Tipped away by Derek Jasper. Now Jasper's got it. 3-on-1. Beauty. Kelvin Sampson put his finger to his brain as if to say, think. They didn't. At Jacksonville, lead game late. Denver at San Diego. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms will be there for that one. It all begins with JB and the gang, the NFL today. And we've got doubleheader for you. NCAA basketball this afternoon. A much anticipated meeting between Texas A&M and UCLA follows this. And Jim's doing double duty this week. He and Billy Packer will be along for that one.
Should be a good one. UCLA, one of the more impressive teams I've had a chance to see so far this year, Vern. They really defend well. They're not very big up front, but their guard play has been outstanding. Texas A&M coming off a loss to LSU earlier in the week. But that's a team that's going to be one to be reckoned with in the Big 12.
I'm just guessing here, but the deciding difference between you and Bill Raftery, he saw them in Hawaii. You saw them stateside.
That's right. No doubt about it.
You need to get a better travel agent. Block and the outlet pass. Bradley Sewer. Close to being a deliberate foul, but they don't whistle him for deliberate. Eric Sewer picks up his second foul.
All of a sudden, Vern, the Kentucky defense has picked its pace up, creating tough shooting opportunities for Indiana. And as a result, Tubby Smith's team is able to get out in the open court and try to score in transition. And not only does that serve the players well, but it also energizes this home crowd.
That's the 7th team foul on Indiana, so 1-1 at the free throw line for Ramel Bradley.
He'll take 1+1.
Had a rattle to it, but it fell through. Wednesday on CBS, Comedy is King, and Kevin James reigns as the King of Queens. Catch 2 all-new episodes Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. Six unanswered now for the Wildcats. Callaway, Stemler, DJ White. Here's Stemler. Callaway. And, oh boy, Callaway wasn't looking.
On the floor.
And it goes off his hand, out of bounds. Time called. Hasn't been a thing of great beauty, but it's closely played. 35 and 33, the percentage points. Turnovers are even at 4, and Indiana had that 7-point lead, but I think you like the way Kentucky's played defense now.
Yeah, here in the last couple of minutes, they've really picked up their defensive effort, and that's created some turnovers. Indiana only has 4 turnovers, but 3 have come in the last 4 possessions, and it was just the flip side of that for Kentucky early on. So both teams struggling to find offense consistently, but you have to give credit to the defenses at this point.
1-point game with 7:54 to go in the first half. Let's set the 5 and the 4 for Indiana. It's Callaway, Stemler, Bassett, DJ White, and Ratliff. And for Kentucky, this is Derek Jasper, the freshman, with the ball in his hands. Callaway goes for the steal, got it, but stepped on the line. So it'll come the other way and a fresh 35. Joey Crawford will inbound. Crawford, Perry, Jasper, Randolph Morris, and Ramel Bradley.
One-on-one here, he's going to work.
Yep.
Right away. That's terrific recognition. They've been doubling him and trapping him all game, and he felt that he only had one defender and went right to work.
Foul on Derek Jasper just near the timeline. That's his first. And Armin Bassett will inbound now for the Hoosiers. One of their 2 losses at Duke, a 3-point game. Played very well in that one, I thought.
In the second half, they had chances, Vern. They really kind of mismanaged and mishandled the last minute after playing so well for 19 minutes of that second half.
Another turnover on Indiana. Getting sloppy now. Oh, no. I beg your pardon. It was tipped. Well, he made that call right in front of the the student section, so I'm proud of him. Bassett, Callaway. High screen set by Stemler. New pick and roll. Shot clock at 1 in the lane. Callaway, no. And White. Oh, my goodness. There's an example of over the top.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Vern. He just went up there and beat everybody to the ball.
Here's Bradley. Indiana back on top by 1. Morris, jumper. Stemler puts it in the hands of Callaway, and he finds A.J. Ratliff, who pulls up and takes the 3. Air ball. Callaway. Ratliff for the rebound.
Indiana is +9 per game in rebounds so far this season. Part of it is a function of pursuing the ball. The other part is because they spread you out so much, it's hard to get blockouts.
Ratliff. Randolph Morris taps it to Joe Crawford. Here's Jasper. He'll wait. Bobby Perry establishes the low post. And now Ramel Bradley. Perry for 3. DJ White with the carom. On the line, another sloppy play.
Well, it's really been rather stagnant for Indiana, fighting the shot clock. Callaway doesn't get it to go, but there's DJ White with the left hand.
For Kentucky, Jody Reese will return.
Boy, he just pursued that ball and cleanly got it done without fouling Randolph Morris.
Another mental mistake now by Indiana, though, Clark, and they've had 5 turnovers in the last 5 minutes.
And that was after a pretty good start, Vern.
Yeah.
They've just kind of gone downhill with the attention to detail, and really inexplicable. Kentucky has picked it up defensively, but a few of those turnovers, as you've noted, have been just careless mistakes.
Harry Stevenson makes his first appearance, has the ball, and puts it in. Number 21. He's become a fan favorite, Stevenson. In the first game of the year here, 7 blocks.
He's got a great wingspan, and he has a tremendous knack for blocking shots, timing, anticipation, waiting for guys to shoot the ball before he goes after it.
Stevenson, a freshman out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Now Wilmot, guarded by Crawford.
Kentucky has been able to switch a lot of the perimeter crosses, which has bothered Indiana in this man-to-man defense.
Bassett puts up a little left-handed runner. And a foul is going to be called on DJ White underneath. That's his second. Let's take a look at Perry Stevenson's bucket, Clark.
Well, Ramel Bradley makes it happen because he penetrates, draws defenders, and then drops a dime to Stevenson. Let's see if DJ White commits a foul. Oh, no, that was an anticipatory whistle. DJ White didn't touch anybody there, but the officials obviously don't have benefit of the replay, but that was a missed call there. And that's his second, is that correct?
Yes,
second foul.
that's his second.
Be interesting to see if Calvin Sampson will elect to sit DJ down or leave him on the floor.
And Mike White. They're checking to see if it was DJ White or perhaps Mike White, number 30 and number 3. So we're using the replay system. And we have had it confirmed from the official bench, the scorer's bench, that they're going to call this on
Mike White, but I couldn't tell.
I don't see that either.
But not there from that angle. He might have nudged him just a bit, and it doesn't take much to get a player that's airborne off balance if you give him a little nudge, but didn't seem to be much from Mike White.
Well,
certainly wasn't DJ White.
Yeah, it was not DJ White, so erase the second foul on DJ White, give it to Mike White.
Will be Perry Stevenson.
We've got just under 5 to go, first half of play. 50th meeting, 38th annual. You played on this floor, right?
Played back here in 1980 as a freshman at Ohio State. Kentucky had a formidable squad, and this place was unbelievable in terms of the atmosphere. As an 18-year-old kid to come in here and see 23,000 and all blue and rabbit, it was quite the experience. We came up on the short end, if I recall, but it was a fun experience.
Mike White in the lane, off the mark. Randolph Morris gets the rebound. Well, Bradley travels. Kelvin Sampson is a 51-year-old kid who's making his first visit to Rupp Arena.
That's right.
Sampson, 12 years at Oklahoma. He was at Washington State before that. Started his career at Montana Tech and served as a graduate assistant under Judd Heathcote with Tom Izzo at Michigan State.
That's right. Long history in the game for Kelvin Sampson as a coach. I'm really excited about being here at Indiana.
Serving sanctions, as I think most of you know, for excessive number of phone calls made by he and the staff at Oklahoma. So not allowed to recruit away from Bloomington for a year. Didn't keep him from getting Earl Gordon. Meeks, no, or Shaw rather. And that one loose, picked up by Eric Sear. Less than 4 to play first half. White. Got it.
Basket by DJ White.
White with 9. Excuse me, Clark.
For all of the trouble that Indiana has had in the last few minutes, they find themselves on top.
Right. Morris at the other end. Beautiful release on that shot.
Well, you just saw two low post guys, DJ White and Randolph Morris, show you that they also can step away and make the perimeter shot.
Randolph Morris had that brilliant game in the loss at North Carolina when he missed only one. Here's Al White and Morris going at each other.
Well, we anticipated it could be an interesting matchup. And the last couple of possessions, that's been the case.
Morris guarded by Mike White. Oh, the putback was good.
I think Meeks and Stevenson were there, Vern. They're going to give it to Stevenson,
right.
I think. When in doubt, go with the guy whose arms are longest. And that's Stevenson, without question.
Eric Sear looks for a little assistance, gets it from Armin Bassett. 2:28 to go before the break. 23-22. Mike White up and under. Rejected by Stevenson. He's had at least one block in every game save one. That was the game against Chattanooga. But he has become a shot-blocking force in this, his first year.
With only 5 turnovers, they average about 16 or about 17 a game. So that's a good number. Disruptive DUC UK doing a nice job there. They've scored a couple of times off the turnovers. And because it's a low-scoring game, neither bench has really had a chance to make an impact, although Perry Stevenson has come in and done a nice job for Kentucky.
9 lead changes thus far. Indiana did have a 7-point lead. That's the largest by either team. 2:20 to go before the break. 23-22. DJ White. You know, I'm just looking at there's a slight resemblance, and I admit it's slight, to Danny Manning. Just a little.
Complexion,
yeah,
shape,
yeah.
face shape.
Right.
Stevenson.
I can see that.
I'm so glad you could. Leave me out there on the ledge.
No.
I don't know where I was going with that one. Stevenson, no. And Lance Stemler played collegiately at a community college in Illinois last year.
You know, you hear folks talk about the start of the game, the start of the half in terms of being key segments in the game, but how you finish half is important. There's a nice play by Wilmot to get inside. But what kind of energy and momentum can you establish going into the locker room? Especially in a tight ball game, it sometimes can be the difference.
Derek Jasper finds himself trapped. And there's Eric Sewer as a part of it. All energy. Young man was a walk-on. Dad, the family, very, very associated with Indiana University. And given a scholarship a year ago, he was concerned that with the coaching change, he might be forgotten. But Kelvin Sampson liked his work ethic and his energy, and he is a full scholarship player.
He brings a lot of grit and savvy, and already twice in this half, he's gone on the floor to get possession of the ball for his team.
Don't you admire a guy like that, Court?
Well, I don't know why Eric was worried, because those kind of guys always stand out in the eyes of coaches.
There's Meeks for Meeks.
That is the first 3 for Kentucky, so their string continues. Something in the 680s, consecutive games.
Well, that's a high-quality shot for a pretty good shooter that doesn't go down. And now Perry, who's been a force off the bench.
Look to foul, and no foul called, and Perry Stevenson gets another basket. 6'9", 200-pound freshman. You think the crowd doesn't appreciate him?
He got 6 points off the bench and a block shot.
There's the hustle by Jasper, back in the hands of Eric Sewer. Shot clock is off. We have 10 seconds to go. Meeks almost stole it. Wilmot for 3 off the front iron. Sewer. There's Randolph Morris. So with a small degree of authority, DJ White hammers it home. That's the end of the first half with our score. Kentucky up 28-26. Now let's go to Sam Ryan in New York for Singular at the half. Halftime at the Rupp Arena in downtown Lexington, 28-26, and a kind of a sloppily played game. Would you not agree?
Well, it helps when you make shots, and when you don't make them, it does look a little ugly. But Kentucky glad to be on top by 2, and in part because of the contributions they got from their big guys.
Well, no one I know who's more qualified to talk about the big guys than the big guy.
Well, we'll start with Randolph Morris doing a nice job here splitting the attempt at a double team. He had 8 points. Here he shows you just a nice ability to go up strong. And then the feathery touch. And that's Perry Stevenson retrieving that miss by Morris. He came off the bench and gave Kentucky 6 points in limited playing time.
What do you see here, Clark, that might catch your attention?
Well, the 1 for 10 3-point shooting from Indiana. They shoot 38% on the year, Vern, and they make an average of 8 3-pointers a game. That most likely will change. Good activity defensively, and then DJ White was absolutely terrific inside as he scored 15 points to lead all scorers.
And so we get set for the start of the second half. 28-26. Indiana did lead by 7 at one point. And Kentucky went through a 7-minute and 15-second field goal drought. So shots not falling effectively for either team.
Yeah, I would expect Kentucky to try to get out a little more. When they made their little surge, they were able to create turnovers and get out in the open court. And then Indiana, I thought they got good looks at perimeter shots for him, but they didn't shoot them with confidence. They kind of were hoping them in. They've got to really shoot the ball with more authority and knock down some perimeter shots, because I would expect Kentucky to try to adjust on DJ White a bit and make it tougher for him to get off inside.
Joe Crawford will throw it in for the Wildcats, and he does so to Derek Jasper. We're underway with the second half of play. Bobby Perry, Randolph Morris, and Ramel Bradley also on the floor for Kentucky. Armin Bassett, number 1. Wilmont, Lance Stemler. There's a nice little scoop shot from Crawford. 30-26. There's Eric Sewer, Stemler, DJ White, Wilmont, and Armin Bassett. That's the 5 on the floor for Kelvin Sampson. Long jumper, 1 of 11 from three-point range. Jasper kicks it left. Underneath, Morris, offensive foul. And guess who took the charge?
The little big man,
Eric Sewer.
And Tuffy Smith claiming that Randolph Morris had nowhere to stop, and he may have a point. Sewer was right there, and that's a close one. Those are always bang-bang calls, and Sewer got the benefit of the doubt there.
Now, folks in Indiana remember last year when he took the charge against Paul Davis of Michigan State, resulting in Davis's elimination. Here's a block. from Morris. 3-on-1. There's Suhr again, and this time, fine job by Ramel Bradley of going over him. Timeout, Indiana. 32-26 out of the gate in the second half. These two programs tied together by tradition and accomplishment. We play in Rupp Arena. Adolph Rupp, 42 years the head coach here, completed his career with 876 wins. Dean Smith then surpassed him. And Bob Knight, longtime coach at Indiana, with a chance today to go one beyond Rupp. Texas Tech playing centenary.
Yeah, and he certainly will do that and surpass Dean Smith in due time as well. And boy, you look at those winning percentages of those three coaches. I mean, 7 out of 10 is the bottom of that ledger. Just phenomenal. Testimony to great players, terrific coaching, and longevity for all three.
Back on the floor at Rupp Arena, Eric Suhr, guarded by Derek Jasper. Here's Lance Stemler.
Well, they would like to see him get loose and knock down the three-pointer. He's made 18 of them on the year, but Kentucky just not giving Indiana anything easy.
Great defensive job by Randolph Morris to knock it loose. Bradley spot up three from way outside, too far outside.
Well, he's got that kind of range. He just didn't. He hesitated on the shot. He didn't really shoot it with the kind of confidence that he normally does.
6-point lead. It's Kentucky's largest.
DJ White needs a little help from his teammates.
Yeah, he's not getting much.
No.
Stemler can't get off the mark. There's DJ White going baseline and gets the roll. Fine effort.
Tough shot there because he was double teamed and didn't have much room to operate.
DJ White with 17 points. Here's Jasper, takes it all the way to the lane, and DJ White blocks it. 2-on-2. Callaway into the corner. A.J. Ratliff out of the timeout on the floor, short with a shot, puts it back, no there. Morris thought about going long for Bradley, settles instead for Derek Jasper. Derek Jasper, nice.
Oh, boy. That's when I told you why I like this kid's instincts. That's what you can't teach. Dribble drive, seeing where everybody is and feeling when that defender leaves his guy and then getting the teammate the ball at the right time for the score.
Jasper getting his second consecutive start for Kentucky. Started against Chattanooga earlier this week. Ratliff with the empty pass. There comes the double from Jasper. This time the roll does not go, and a good job by Bobby Perry. Here comes Crawford. Perry's open. Can't control the pass. On the floor. Hell ball, possession arrow, Indiana, and a little extracurricular activity down on the floor.
Good instincts on display. The ball is here. Take a look right here. On penetration, Stemler's going to come here. That pass is going right there for the layup. Penetration, defender helps. His guy is open on the backside, and Derek Jasper felt it and saw it the whole time.
Stemler will inbound now on the possession arrow. Possession into the hands of Eric Suhr.
Indiana's got to find a way to make a perimeter shot. They need Ratliff or Stemler to get loose and knock down the shot. DJ's doing his work inside, but he needs to have the diet at the offensive end complemented with some perimeter shooting.
Stemler outside. Indiana 1 of 11 on three-point shots. In and out for Ratliff. Randolph Morris, no foul called. Morris puts it on the floor, kicks it. Indiana ball, 3-on-2. Callaway. And the tip goes in by Ratliff. Suhr's going to get a warning and a pat on the back or behind.
And Calvin Sampson, much like Tubby Smith, very animated and intense coaches.
Callaway, the crowd wanted a foul on him as Jasper brings it back outside. Well, Foul is called on Callaway. Both coaches up. Well, these are two of the best. We were talking about Rupp and Knight just a moment ago. There's Tubby Smith, 10th year here. You think both these coaches don't coach in tough environments? Boy.
Well, this is as unique an environment as you can have in college basketball here in Kentucky.
15:56 to go. Our coverage continues after this message and a word from your local station. Indiana, he began in his hometown. He played 3 years at Pembroke University. Then, as we told you, a graduate assistant, his first head job at Montana Tech. He was there 4 years, then Washington State in Pullman. The trip down to Norman to coach the University of Oklahoma, now in his first year as the head coach at Indiana. I chatted with him yesterday, Clark, and I said it must seem like a long way from your first year in Butte, Montana, when the team went 7-20. And he said, yeah, it is. Chris and I lived in the barracks for 4 years, barracks built for minors. And as he was leaving, he turned back. He said, I got to confess something to you. We were actually 4-23. We got 3 forfeits. And then he reminded me, and I did know this, they went 22-9 the next year. They won 22 his third year, 22 his fourth year.
Well, he has earned his stripes and has been successful wherever he's been.
Ramel Bradley in the lane, puts it up off the front iron. Here comes Callaway. 4-point game. Eric Sewer spots up for 3. Oh, that's going to be basket interference. And count the 3. That's the second 3 made by Indiana today.
And they needed some help. Good transition look here. And there you see Randolph Morris. That ball was still above the cylinder. Easy call for the official. And they're wondering if it was a 2 or a 3.
2 or a 3. I thought they called it a 3. Checking.
Basket counted as 3.
3.
Well, we'll see it here. Yeah, he's clearly behind the line. At least from that angle, it appeared both feet were clearly behind the 3-point arc. So it's a triple.
And Indiana pulls within 1. They're now 2 of 12 from 3-point range. Brings to mind that horrible game for Kentucky last year in Indianapolis when they went 2 for 27 from 3-point range. Palming the ball, turnover.
One of the points of emphasis this year, if you allow that ball to come to a rest as you're trying to make a penetration move, the officials are doing a terrific job in all the games I've been able to see calling that.
Indiana to regain the lead. They're down by 1 with 15:20 to go in the ball game. Penetration by Ratliff. Put back no good. There's Ramel Bradley. Now Kentucky wants to run. They don't have numbers. Bradley pull-up jumper. Can't connect. Here comes Eric Sewer. He'll slow it down. Fires to Callaway. Oh, boy. All alone.
Break down defensively there. But that's one of the reasons you push the ball up the floor. You catch defenders transitioning, trying to figure out who they're defending. And sometimes you get a wide open lane to the hoop.
Callaway goes for the steal. Jasper able to control it. Finds the open man, Morris. Tough play.
That's
nice little left-hand dish.
Beautiful pass. He does have 4 turnovers today, but this kid keeps playing. He just continues to play. Always locked into the next play and the next opportunity.
That puts the plug in a 9-0 run. Here's Callaway. Back outside. Sewer, spot up 3. Tipped by Stemler. Off the line. And it'll be Kentucky ball. Tomorrow on the finale of the Amazing Race, it's a heart-stopping race to the finish. Find out who'll win the $1 million. Don't miss the Amazing Race season finale tomorrow on CBS. Barry Stevenson back on the floor for the Wildcats now, joined by Derek Jasper, Joe Crawford, Randolph Morris, and Jody Meeks. Back outside. Knocked out of bounds by A.J. Ratliff. Mike Porter comes in now, number 1, point guard. He'll replace Derek Jasper, a Californian for a Californian. Part of Porter's biography is that he was offered, he was contacted, not offered, contacted about signing with Southern California as a defensive back, and announced his intention to play basketball here at Kentucky. And Pete Carroll called him and said, "Are you sure?" And he said yes. He was sure. So
two pretty good choices.
Oh my gosh. Morris looks for Porter. Porter has it. Oh, shot clock violation. I thought he got away with a little bit of shifty movement with the feet, but no call.
He sat out of practice on Thursday with a sprained ankle, and you can tell there he's just not quite 100%. But Tubby Smith wanting to give his point guard, the freshman Derek Jasper, a chance to get a break and get recharged for the last 10 or 12 minutes of this ball game.
Porter on Sewer, that's freshman on senior. Callaway. Meeks, that's freshman on senior. High screen set by DJ White. Callaway up. Didn't get the roll. Rebound Indiana. Batted three. Sewer dives and saves it. Tip. Volleyball. Here's Gordon. Porter, rather. And no charge this time. The foul is called on A.J. Ratliff.
Well, he tried, but he certainly didn't get there soon enough to earn the charge call. But boy, how about Sewer? Back on the floor, almost retained possession for his team. Both teams have picked it up from an intensity standpoint. That's a good look for Morris. He usually knocks that shot down.
Yep. And Indiana with another chance to get back on top. Another reminder, Texas A&M UCLA, the second game of our doubleheader. Callaway has been left alone a lot.
Well, he's super quick, and he comes up with the steal here, and he's looking at the three.
The follow by Ratliff is good. Off the miss by Callaway. 39-36. Timeout. Kentucky. And Tubby Smith is not a happy soul. Unranked teams this year, Clark.
Well, you see Clemson off to a terrific start, unbeaten to this point. I watched Florida State beat Florida about a week ago. Have yet to see Oregon play, but no, they knocked off a good Georgetown team, and I saw Virginia in their opening season win against Arizona. So those teams are all very capable of being ranked teams before the year is out. And we got two teams here that are unranked as well that are going to have a chance, I think, to be better than people expect them to be.
You do.
I really do, because Calvin Sampson, you see evidence of what Calvin Sampson wants to do with this team in terms of its identity. They're in this game and on top because of their offensive rebound.
Yes, it is.
That is 15-5 in offensive rebounds, which means they have, at halftime, they had 10 more shot attempts than Kentucky. So just sheer shot volume on a day when you're struggling to make perimeter shots is what's allowed them to be in the position they're in right now.
Randolph Morris, excuse me, Clark, is going to go to the free throw line.
And they're going to continue to get better in that area. Kentucky, on the other hand, with a guy like Morris who can finish inside, they've got a young point guard who's developing. Ramel Bradley's a junior that can shoot the ball. I think they, too, are going to become better as the season progresses, and not to mention that both have outstanding coaches with proven track records of having their teams get better.
Now give us the book on Randolph Morris.
Well, he's got to demand the orange, and he has done a pretty good job of that all season long here in the early season. He's got force and finesse. He's got a strong body, and he also has a nice touch. He needs to do this more, get to the foul line.
Gets to this trip. Cuts the lead to 1 with 12:21 to go. Sewer, Callaway, Stemler, DJ White, and Ratliff on the floor for the Hoosiers.
Both teams have stayed primarily man-to-man defensively.
Morris on White. Traveling. 7 Indiana turnovers, so they've protected the ball quite well throughout this game. And now the 5 on the floor for Kentucky. Derek Jasper, Bobby Perry, Randolph Morris, Ramel Bradley. The dish, Bradley underneath. DJ White, Morris, no. Tip, good by Bobby Perry. This is the 15th lead change of the ballgame.
As you said earlier, it hasn't been pretty, but it's been closely contested.
Serve. Quick outlet pass. Jasper. He'll take it and dish. Stemler had to make a decision. Jasper saw the trail man. A 6-0 run by Kentucky. Stemler hasn't fallen for him today. Another rebound. Sir gets the tip. Galloway, quick. Back outside. Stemler still won't go. Stemler's 0 for 5 from three-point range.
And coming in, he had made 18 of his 24 field goals made had been from behind the three-point line. And he had made 50% of his threes.
Crawford a little out of control. Regains control just in time. Well, let's take a look at that fast break, the basket, as time has been called.
Jasper knows the trailer is with him, and Perry finishes. And then Joe Crawford, who knows how to get to the rim, able to finish, and he'll shoot free throws when we come back.
24,253 in attendance today. Our score 44-39 Kentucky. First half of the doubleheader. Clark, A&M, and UCLA.
Terrific matchup. UCLA, one of the best defensive teams in the country. For A&M to have a chance on the road, AC Law has to ramp up his offensive game. He's averaging 14 a game, but he may need to go close to 20 or better today.
Billy Gillespie, head coach at Texas A&M. I've known him for a long time, and that is a perfect fit.
Yeah, it seems to be.
It is. I don't think anybody knows high school basketball in Texas and knows his way around the way Billy Gillespie does.
Well, that's the lifeline in college basketball or any college sport, particularly recruiting, especially basketball and football.
And, of course, another preacher's kid is the head coach at UCLA, Mr. Howland. He's done a fair job.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Crawford. Bassett is in for Sewell now for Indiana. Arlen Bassett, number 1. Sewell picked up his 3rd foul. Joey Crawford gets the free throw. 6-point game again. After Indiana went on that 13-4 run to regain the lead, Kentucky has responded. This is Callaway. In the lane, the dish to DJ White.
Have to call play out of the timeout. They like White involved in the pick and roll where he can shoot the mid-range jump shot. And because Callaway has had success getting into the lane, that was a good play to call out of that timeout, and they got just what they wanted out of it.
19 points for DJ White to lead all scorers in this game. Under 10 to go. Here's Crawford long. DJ White with another rebound. 4-point Kentucky lead. 15 lead changes in the ball game. Amazingly, no ties. Here's Callaway. There's the screen set by White. Stemler passes on the shot. Wilmot. Morris with another rebound. And Indiana continues to be ice cold from beyond the arc. They're 2 of 18.
Wow.
Morris. Short. Tip. No good. Callaway will run. 2 on 3. Nice switch by Joe Crawford. DJ White found the bottom of the well and came back out.
Yeah, he thought that was down, but again, that's well within his range. And that's a shot Calvin Sampson does not mind him shooting.
No effects, it would seem, with that broken foot, other than possibly conditioning.
Exactly, conditioning and not playing for a long time. The rust that accumulates when you just don't play competitive basketball over the course of a season. But he's rounding into pretty good form because he's had a strong game at both ends here today.
Another point. But then Perry finds Crawford deep in the lane, and a little soft jumper extends the lead again to 6.
Crawford is so powerful, Vern. He actually knocked Stemler off of his defensive position to create an easy shot for himself there.
Wilmot finds DJ White. They trap him. Back to Stemler. Again, it's not going to fall today. So the exasperation for the junior college transfer continues. Kentucky up by 6. Well, let's take a look at what has transpired so far. Kentucky 44%. Look at Indiana's shooting percentage, and that three-point deficiency is extraordinary.
Yeah, it really is, and that's a big part of their offense, Vern. They make an average of 8 of those a game, and they've gotten good looks tonight. They just haven't been able to knock them down. They have gotten the kind of play from DJ White that they've expected and needed. He's been terrific inside.
He's just not getting any help from the other guys in the choir.
Exactly.
So take a look at DJ White's effort.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job getting to the edges off the post, knocking down the perimeter shot. Tough turnaround jumper here, but he's been active and he's been pretty physical, I think, although Calvin Sampson would like to see him be more assertive. But plenty of time left here. It's only a 2-possession game right now. And you just got to think, if you continue to get good looks, if you're Calvin Sampson, and if your team continues to get good looks at the three-point shot, at some point they'll knock 1 or 2 key ones down.
Ball to be inbounded by Indiana. Here's Callaway, joined by Bassett, the freshman, Wilmot, DJ White, and Lance Stemler. Stemler, averaging 14 points a game, held scoreless today.
He has been bageled.
Callaway, cat quick, but fine job defensively. And there's Stevenson again.
Well, he's had a nice productive game at both ends off the bench.
Crawford, guarded by Bassett. Leaves it outside for Ramel Bradley. Crowd was ready to erupt at that fallen. We near the 7-minute mark. Outside shot, finally. Wilmot cuts the lead in half. Third 3 canned by Indiana today. Bradley. Callaway reaches around. What a job. Oh, my goodness.
He never gave up on the play, Vern. He had gotten beat, but he continued to pursue his man and stayed with Ramel Bradley and forced that turnover because he didn't quit, and he got his hand up on the shooter.
I see a head and now the body crawling out of the doghouse.
Well, nothing like being in the middle of a tough game on the road to try to earn some respect from your coach after you've been disciplined.
I can see the shoulders. Wilmot again for 3. We're tied at 47.
I was at practice Monday in Bloomington, and Calvin Sampson was all over Wilmot about bringing energy, about being a leader, about attacking the glass, about shooting the ball with confidence. I think he got the message.
Well, we've got 6:12 remaining in this one. We are tied for the first time this afternoon. Indiana has 3 timeouts remaining. Kentucky 2. Fouls 4 and Kentucky 1. And the possession arrow favoring the Wildcats. And let's check the 5 on the floor. It's Derek Jasper, the inbound. Bobby Perry, Morris, Joe Crawford, and Ramel Bradley for Kentucky. There's the switch. Stemler out. Morris wants it. Gets it. Double team from Stemler. Baseline. Shot and a foul.
There was no question about where Kentucky wanted this ball. Good double team here, but again, Morris recognizes where it's coming from, turns away from it, and that is a tough shot. But I've seen him make it more than he's missed it this year.
Second foul on DJ White. Morris completes the three-point play.
He talked about the book on Morris needing to get to the line more charity. And he's knocked down a couple of big ones here today. And boy, that's a huge shot at this juncture after Indiana had rallied with back-to-back threes to tie things up.
Armin Bassett, the freshman from Terre Haute, Indiana, has the ball in his hands. Stemler sets the screen. Here's Wilmot coming outside. Guarded by Joe Crawford. Reach-in foul on Crawford. His second.
Only the team's second as well, so Kentucky can continue to be aggressive defensively without any fear of being in the bonus.
Callaway throws it in. Wilmot feels it now. This one doesn't go. But Stemler gets another offensive board. Indiana, a decisive victory so far, and a timeout is called by the Hoosiers. 3-point Kentucky lead, 5:21 to go. Tradition, history, go back to 1931 and take a look at the coaches since then. Rupp, Hall, Sutton, Pitino, and Tubby Smith. And what do they all have in common? Bill Kitely worked for every one of them. That's Mr. Bill, 79 years of age. His name is up in the rafters here. He's been a part of this program since 1962.
And what a delightful guy. They call him Smooth. He's a smooth operator. I remember coming to a basketball camp here between my junior and senior years in high school in 79, 78. And Mr. Kitely was here. Every time I see him, we reminisce about when I came on campus way back when.
Underneath, White no. Morris rebound, held ball, possession arrow, Kentucky. And just to put the period to the paragraph about Bill Kitely at 79, this afternoon he is witnessing his 1,408th Kentucky game.
Wow.
More than 55% of all games played by the Wildcats. 5 minutes to go. 50-47. Almost taken away by Callaway. Boy, he's been active in this half.
He sure has been. He got the message after not starting because Calvin Sampson was not pleased with his effort in practice.
Bradley draws a foul from Wilmot. Thursday on Survivor with only 2 episodes left. How dirty will things get? Don't miss a new Survivor on Thursday. Plus the season finale and live reunion show Sunday, December 17th on CBS. Bradley at the line. Started the season as the point, replacing Rajon Rondo, and then a couple of games ago they moved him over to the off guard and Derek Jasper came on.
I think that's a comfortable move, a good move, because Jasper has point guard instincts. Ramel Bradley is more comfortable looking for his offense. So they can play together, and on occasion Ramel can slide over to the point, but he's much more comfortable and suited to being a guy who's looking for his offense. Has not shot it well today, but had a terrific game the other night against Chattanooga. He knocked down 6 3-point field goals.
And he's been perfect at the line today, 6 of 6. So it's back to a 5-point margin with 4:40 to go.
Well, the last time Indiana had the ball in the half court, DJ White got it right at the rim and just didn't finish. They need a bucket here.
Crawford doing the defensive work on Wilmot. Jasper's out on Callaway. It's in the hands of Stemler. Now the entry pass. Off of Wilmot's hands or Bradley's. It's going to be Indiana ball. 9 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, you've got time for a couple of dribbles, but whatever you do, you've got to do it with force.
Here's Callaway. Goes by Jasper. Underneath. Before the basket, foul call. Foul on Crawford, his third.
There are a number of ways to play with force, and this is one of them. Drive in there, anticipating contact, trying to earn yourself a trip to the line. And as you mentioned, Vern, Callaway has been extremely active at both ends. I mean, he's been a catalyst for Indiana maintaining close contact with Kentucky as this game has kind of ebbed and flowed here in the second half.
They'll shoot one more.
He had an outstanding couple of games in the NCAA tournament last year. Actually, one of them came close to a triple-double. There's DJ, another offensive rebound. Off a free throw, which is going to drive Tubby Smith absolutely crazy.
DJ White has 21 points. Callaway, quick hands,
Well, I tell you what, the freshman Jasper is getting a real education about playing the point guard position under constant duress. Callaway has not gotten out of his jersey this whole second half. And the young fella has handled it pretty well, all things considered. But he will sleep good tonight.
Crawford has it in his hands. 4 to go. 2-point game. Off the dribble. Good job by Wilmot. Offensive board, and that's a rare one. Randolph Morris. Foul is called. Morris will go to the line. We'll take a timeout. We began the day talking about the two stars, DJ White, Randolph Morris. They've met our expectations.
They certainly have, partner. Double-double for Randolph Morris and White. 1 rebound away from a 2010 game. So both of these guys giving their team exactly what's needed. Now it comes down to even doing it more, because it's not always just what you do, it's when you do it. And guys like that, Morris and White, have to be ready to make plays to give their teams a chance to win late in ball games, especially late in tight ball games.
Randolph Morris will be at the line. He's perfect thus far, 3 of 3. And he shoots 2.
Randolph Morris at the line to take 2.
Not that good a free throw shooter over the course of the year. 58.5%. Tomorrow on CBS, Cold Case heads to Nashville, and the music of Tim McGraw helps tell the story of a rising country music star and his tragic fall. An all-new Cold Case tomorrow at 9, 8 Central on CBS. 1 of 2 for Randolph Morris, this Kentucky football team under Rich Brooks, going to the Music City Bowl in Nashville. They were honored at halftime and received a standing ovation. Rich Brooks, more significantly, got a contract extension. You reach a certain age when that becomes the primary thing in your life.
Very important.
Crawford on the line, saved again. Well, Tubby's going to have some teaching points. Here's Crawford with a steal. No numbers, but he takes the shot in Kansas. 5-point game. Double team foul. Jasper or Morris? Who'd they get? They got Jasper. His second.
Despite what Indiana has been able to do on the offensive glass, untimely turnovers have helped Kentucky keep this lead.
DJ White shoots 2.
Checking the lineup for the Hoosiers, Joey Shaw.
Joey Shaw comes on for Indiana. Ratliff sits. White shoots 1 more. White with 23 points. Callaway guards Jasper. Romel Bradley. 2:44 to go. Bobby Perry. 8 on the shot clock. Stemler, Perry, pull up. That's inside the line. Back to a 5-point game. Not an easy shot.
No, that mid-range jumper off the dribble, but it's a valuable weapon.
Fade away, short, tipped. Kentucky ball.
Boy, this is a patented shot for DJ, but at this stage in the game, you'd like to see him maybe turn to the middle and try to take it aggressively into the paint.
That appeared to be a fine call off Wilmot's hand. Stolen. Shaw up. Yes.
What a play. What a play by Joey Shaw. Have not heard much from him today, But over the course of this young season, he's impacted a lot of games with that kind of activity.
Stole it from Ramel Bradley, then canned the basket. Here's Callaway with another steal. Jasper! Oh, boy, what a block!
Boy, and he is gassed and frustrated that he got his pocket picked. But to his credit, he didn't give up on it. Callaway's been setting him up all second half for that pilfer. But the young fella stayed right with it. Boy, it's pretty tight here, Vern.
97 seconds to go. Puddin' Classic featuring the Aggies against the Bruins of UCLA. That one follows our game. And our game is a good one. 3 points, 57-54 Kentucky. Indiana with 1 timeout left. They've given 7 fouls. Kentucky only 4.
Right. That bodes well going down the stretch because you can still be aggressive, and as long as you don't foul a guy in the act of shooting, then you don't give the opponent a free throw opportunity. Indiana, on the other hand, in a position with it only being a 1-possession game, they actually have the ball now after that block by Jasper, so they'll have a chance to perhaps come within 1 or maybe tie it.
Earl Callaway will throw the ball in. There's Jasper, the freshman from Paso Robles, California. Indiana 4 of 23 from beyond the arc. They got plenty of time left. They get it way out to Semler. He saves it. Shaw. This one will not fall.
Look at him stay after it, though.
Wow. Indiana ball.
Joey Shaw, in like 40 seconds, has made a few terrific plays. Somebody's bleeding. Bobby Perry. He's got blood coming from the middle of his forehead, it appears, Vern.
So that's
here's Joey Shaw. Penetration. This thing almost goes down. He keeps it alive. And I don't see exactly where Bobby Perry. It ended up going off of Randolph Morris. Bobby Perry took a shot to the right above the eyebrow, it appears.
Perry on the bench. And again, the possession arrow favoring Indiana. This is an official's timeout. Sheree Thomas will come in, replacing Bobby Perry for Tubby Smith's team.
Well, again, the tenacity that we've seen all game long by Indiana on the offensive glass, showing itself there on that possession.
A little time in the huddle for Kelvin Sampson. He talks to Joey Shaw, the freshman out of Glendale. Yeah. What energy, huh?
Oh, yeah. He just finds a way, Vern. I've watched a handful of Indiana games, and was at practice earlier this week. This kid just finds a way to bring what he brings, which is energy, an uncanny knack for being around the ball and finishing plays.
There's Joey Shaw. Aggies and the Bruins coming up next. Texas A&M in the top 10. UCLA, of course, a trip to the championship game a year ago. Ben Howland has things turned around out of UCLA. If you love this sport, and we all do, it's always good to have UCLA a part of the conversation.
Oh, yeah. Such a rich history and tradition. And you're right, Ben Howland has them in a position to play for conference and national championship for a while. They'll actually be one of the teams expected to get back to the Final Four and have a chance to win it this year, barring injury.
Well, they've done the mop-up job out on the floor, and this is an official's timeout. Bobby Perry took an elbow, it appeared, or I couldn't see. It was a headbutt, or
I couldn't tell either. It
No.
appeared that he may have taken a shot to the head from an Indiana player's head, but I don't know if somebody raked him across with a hand or if it was the head or not. But he's going to sit while Thomas replaces him.
Now they're asking the Kentucky bench to take their seats, which they have done. Callaway will inbound. Back to Semler. Now Joey Shaw. 15 on the shot clock. Semler hasn't hit one from three-point range. Morris is on him now. There's a wild shot by Wilmot. And it's taken down by Sheree Thomas, who's on the floor for Bobby Perry. Under a minute.
You don't need to foul here if you're Indiana. You need to play solid defense and then rebound a missed shot.
Bradley penetrates back to Morris. Timeout called Kentucky. 45.3 remaining. They'll have 17 on the shot clock when we come back.
And you can make a common foul without giving Indiana free throws. Allows you to be really aggressive in the last 45 seconds here at the defensive end of the floor. Indiana, on the other hand, with 17 seconds on the shot clock, has to be conscious of defending, helping each other out without fouling, and then everybody has to rebound. You've got a gang rebound if the shot is missed.
Ramel Bradley will throw it in. Sheree Thomas, Randolph Morris, Joe Crawford, Jody Meeks are on the floor for Kentucky. Joey Shaw, Semler, Callaway, DJ White, and Rod Wilmot for Indiana. This is Crawford. Callaway. Double team. They kick it out. Meeks. Nope. Tips it. Out of bounds. Touch last by Meeks. Indiana ball. 4 of 24 from three-point range in this ball game. 32.9. They don't need to go for a three right away.
Not necessarily. No, I would actually, in this situation, you'd like to see Indiana attack the goal and try to get a good two. If you can get a three out of that, a good look at the three. But I think your first look has to be attacking the rim and trying to do something quickly. Kelvin Sampson wants a timeout.
Out Indiana. This will be a 30-second.
And so it is given. That's their final timeout. Looks like he could pose for that famous painting in 1776 now. Cut above the eyebrow. So Bobby Perry on the bench. Still a possession arrow favoring Indiana. They've got the basketball. 28.7 to go.
Well, you don't need a three here. If you get a good look after probing inside for a good three-point shooter, you take that shot. What you need is a high-quality shot fairly quickly, so you give yourself a chance for a second opportunity, or if not, now you foul and try to stretch the game out. So whatever you do, you want to try to go relatively quickly here.
Shaw guarded by Jasper. Now Wilmot. Here's Callaway, gets a screen from Semler.
Well, this is good defense by Kentucky.
Yes, indeed. 13 to go. Semler for three. No. Out of bounds. Touched by Indiana with 9.1 remaining.
Well, it appeared as though Oklahoma was looking for the three-point shot there. Just based on how they were running around on the perimeter.
And this horrid day for Lance Semler continues. 0 for 7. Sheree Thomas to Meeks.
Got a foul right away.
There's the. Now they try the trap and the foul.
Oh, that's 3 valuable seconds off the clock.
Now Meeks is 64% free throw shooter for the season. First time at the line tonight.
Well, he really only needs one of these, Vern, to ice it, because Indiana does not have any timeouts.
1-1. Big. .65 freshman from Norcross, Georgia. One of the 4 highly touted recruits for Tubby Smith.
Very.
5.8 to go. And a 5-point lead. Here's Callaway. Tipped. Derek Jasper tracks it down. Game over. Kentucky goes to 6-3. Indiana falls to 5-3. Today's Chevrolet players of the game: DJ White from Indiana, Randolph Morris from Kentucky. In recognition of their determination and outstanding play, Chevy makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. America's brand supports America's best. Chevy, an American revolution. For Clark Kellogg, I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from Kentucky. Our final score, 59-54 Wildcats. CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four continues next. Game 2 of our doubleheader as the Aggies of Texas A&M clash with top-ranked UCLA. We'll send you to Sam Ryan in New York after these messages. This is a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA basketball championship.